Here's an old German toy from the first year at Nuremberg, Gene toy. I bought lots of these. It's well, I'll blow and see what happens. Look at the little red man here. He's the owner of a house which has caught fire. We can't see the fire yet. And he's shouting, help, 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 can someone rescue me? So a fire engine comes roaring up and it's followed by a police car. And there's a director of traffic here, another policeman, and another one coming up, all to help him. And he's waving his arms frantically because his house is on fire. And that's a siren noise you get. The original siren is broken down, so I've added the siren to it. But that was a wonderful series of toys, all which animated when you blew into them. What I was particularly interested in was the house bit, because I love toys which are representing houses, but in unusual ways. That was a charming way of doing it. A house on fire, and all the services are rushing up to protect and help the man out. This is not actually for children, but it's actually a promotional item, but it's shaped like a house, which is interesting. It's got a chimney and a roof, and it's one of these flip-flops which go blah, 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 all the way around and blah, 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 back again. And what's nice about it is, as you're going through it, you can see all sorts of different scenes, as it were, within it. So there's the front and the back, there's the front, but turn it around like that, we're looking close up to houses with staircases of the interior, which is very nice indeed, and further interiors and bits of the houses appearing there, and then nearly the final stage, which is that one there. Oh look, there's some nice house scenes in the middle there, and finally it ends up as it began, looking like a house with a chimney and a roof. Very, very nicely done, and meant really for the advertising market to advertise properties or perhaps estate agents. Nice one. Here's another house toy I picked up quite a few years ago. It's very, very basic. There's almost nothing to it. It's completely bare. But what's this great big football in the front, or brightly coloured beach ball? Well, it's actually a pull cord. So what happens when I pull? It's a wind up. Something's going to happen. Let go and... Oh, goodness me, how on earth could I get that there like that? Well, it's all done with a very heavy motor inside. Look at that, great big heavy motor whirring around and making the poor thing. I'll do a little gentler one. No, even that's enough to make it turn upside down. So, houses in earthquakes, sometimes they do a complete somersault. I think they probably get a bit more damage than that. We'll see later on. Okay. Here's a marvellous house that a friend of mine gave me. It's an extraordinary thing because it's all made of matchsticks. So at the time when there were boxes and cubes made of matchsticks, but this one is much more interesting because it's made with very long matches, which you need there, and long matches here for the roof. And to set fire to that would be a criminal, I suppose, but it would certainly look spectacular. I'd have to make sure I had a spare of it before I did that. But there's a lot of detail in it, and yet they're all made of matches. No glue, just put together and held by friction. Oh, well, that's just held in there by friction. I can't get it back in again, but I'll try later. So a house made of matches, wonderful. And big too, it's a heavy thing. There's the base of it. I do love pictures of houses if they're very, very interesting, and these ones are extraordinary. They're upside down houses, that's in Germany. It's one of several, but one of the first ones to open up, where it's possible to walk into the house and look at everything upside down. I don't know whether they stuck the furniture to the ceiling or what it was, but it was open for a long time. It's been closed, according to the internet, at the moment. Perhaps it's been renovated. An upside down house, there's several of them in Germany, and there's even a few in America, such as this one here, which is very exciting because they've bothered to actually fasten a car to the bottom of the lower part of the roof of the house. But the entire house is upside down. I'd find it a bit easier, actually, if I just walk into my house with one of those upside-down reversing specs, and then that would do, wouldn't it? There we are. In the earliest days of my toy collecting, I came across these wonderful Meggendorfer reproductions from the 1890s. They were, in the early 1970s and 80s, we were making wonderful pop-up books, and this one was a doll's house, where each page had to be opened up like this, and you got to open pieces up within it. That's the first scene. That one was made and things. This is all, and there's people walking in and out of doors there and windows. It was a lot of fun for the kids to play with, and some of them opened up into spectacular geometrical shapes. Wonderful. Look at this one here. Goodness me. See if I can get this to perform. Oh, it's got stuck, I think. Oh, there we are. Now look at that. Interior size there. My goodness, there's some really good pop-up art, paper engineering going on there. And some more pieces here. So there's a lot of play value in these books that came out all that time ago, and I'm very pleased to see that they've reproduced them, and they call them, well, this one is a reproduction of an antique doll's house by Meckendorfer, and very, very well done indeed, and quite robust actually. Here's an extraordinary thing. It's a candle, would you believe, although the candle's made of that very clear wax, which you can have, but in the base of it is a little model scene of a village with a large house there, perhaps the main house of the village, and there's smoke rising from it, but actually it's the wick of a candle, which I'll light in a minute. But what a lovely wintry scene that is, isn't it? Very, very nicely done. And when you light it, there's a perfectly good little candle. I'll light it in a sec, but let me just show you something else to go with it, because this is rather a Christmassy scene, and I feel this will go with it very nicely. This is the wind-up toy, which I got many years ago, all made out of China, and it's got a wind-up typical method. And here's Santa Claus coming out of the chimney, well, the arm is, and when I wind it up, it's going to perform. And I'll light the candle just to complete the picture. So there's Santa Claus doing "You Better Not Shout, Santa Claus is Coming to Town." It's a song I know with the choir that I sing, so we have sung it. Let's go I lighting the candle too. It looks so spectacular. Santa Claus is coming to town. That's a nice Christmas scene now, look at that. Let's turn this way, so it's, yes, that's the best way for it. There's a church and a manor house and a flame in the sky above it. And there's Santa Claus riding over the top of all of them. What a nice scene.